Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for deep dives into South African politics and the issues that matter. Today, we are unpacking a major development in one of South Africa's longest-running legal battles, the arms deal corruption case involving former President Jacob Zuma. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. Former President Jacob Zuma's legal team has once again called for the arms deal corruption case against him to be permanently struck off the court roll. This time, their argument is taking a different turn. Zuma's lawyers are insisting that the passage of time, nearly 2 decades, has fatally compromised his right to a fair trial. They argue that crucial witnesses have passed away over the years, making it impossible for Zuma to properly defend himself. This move comes hot on the heels of another defeat for Zuma. Recently, he lost yet another bid to have lead prosecutor advocate Billy Downer SC removed from the case. Zuma has long accused Downer of bias and misconduct, but the courts have repeatedly dismissed these accusations, finding no grounds to remove him. Now, shifting their focus, Zuma's legal team is leaning heavily into the argument that the state's persistent delays have not only been prejudicial but catastrophic for the case itself. In documents submitted to the Pietermaritzburg High Court, Zuma's lawyers made an impassioned argument. They claim that the emotional and reputational damage Zuma has endured, combined with the deaths of key witnesses, has rendered any prospect of a fair trial impossible. They state, and I quote, "These are not just delays, they are fatal to the pursuit of justice." According to Zuma's camp, continuing with the trial under these conditions would not just be unfair, it would amount to a travesty of justice. Let's take a step back and remember what this case is about. Zuma faces multiple charges of fraud, corruption, and money laundering, all linked to South Africa's infamous multi-billion rand arms deal of the late 1990s. It's alleged that he received illicit payments from the French arms company Thales, which remains a co-accused in the case. Zuma, of course, has pleaded not guilty to all charges, consistently claiming that the case against him is nothing more than a political witch hunt. The National Prosecuting Authority, or NPA, isn't buying Zuma's latest move. They've described it as yet another delay tactic, a strategy critics say Zuma has expertly mastered over the years. From endless appeals to procedural challenges, Zuma's legal maneuvers have dragged this case out for nearly 2 decades, frustrating not only the courts but also many South Africans who see the case as a litmus test for the country's commitment to accountability and the rule of law. However, it's important to point out that the argument being made by Zuma's team isn't entirely unheard of. Legal experts are divided. Some analysts caution that while it's rare for courts to strike down major criminal trials solely because of delay-related issues, it isn't impossible. If Zuma's team can convincingly demonstrate that systemic delays, particularly those caused by the state, have fundamentally prejudiced his case, the court could find itself facing difficult constitutional questions. South Africa's constitution guarantees everyone the right to a fair trial, including the right to have their trial begin and conclude without unreasonable delay. If the court accepts Zuma's argument that the cumulative impact of time, health concerns, and the death of critical witnesses has fatally wounded his defense, it could be forced to dismiss the charges altogether. And if that happens, it would not only be a major victory for Zuma but a significant blow to public confidence in the justice system. Critics, however, are not convinced that Zuma is a victim here. Many point to the fact that Zuma himself has contributed significantly to the delays, launching appeal after appeal, and raising numerous technical objections over the years. Some legal commentators argue that Zuma's strategy has always been to delay, knowing that the longer the case drags on, the weaker the state's case could become. At the heart of this latest controversy lies a much bigger question: when justice is delayed, is it ultimately denied? And if so, who should be held responsible, the state for allowing delays, or the accused for engineering them? This case was once seen as a beacon of hope, proof that even the most powerful individuals could be held accountable in a democratic South Africa. Today, many fear it has become a tragic example of how easily justice can be undermined when cases drag on for decades. Observers warn that even the upcoming hearing of Zuma's latest application will likely cause further delays. The High Court is expected to hear arguments in the coming weeks, and no matter the outcome, it will likely be appealed by either side. This means South Africans could still be years away from seeing any final resolution. It's also worth noting that the arms deal scandal isn't just about Zuma. The allegations surrounding the arms procurement deal stretch far and wide, implicating multiple figures across the political and business spectrum. Yet after all these years, few convictions have been secured, and accountability remains elusive. As South Africa grapples with ongoing corruption scandals, from state capture to mismanagement at state-owned enterprises, the Zuma trial serves as a painful reminder of how deep these problems run. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Public trust in the judiciary, the credibility of the National Prosecuting Authority, and the broader project of constitutional democracy all hang in the balance. For Zuma personally, the outcome of this case is critical. A conviction could forever tarnish his legacy and potentially lead to jail time. But if he succeeds in having the case struck off, it would be a vindication of sorts, at least in the eyes of his supporters, many of whom see him as a victim of political persecution. Supporters of the former president argue that he has been unfairly targeted by political rivals seeking to erase his legacy, and that the relentless pursuit of this case, despite its many flaws, is evidence of that vendetta. Meanwhile, critics argue that allowing Zuma to escape accountability after so many years would send a dangerous message that powerful individuals can evade justice simply by running out the clock. One thing is certain, this latest chapter in the Zuma saga shows that the battle over the arms deal case is far from over. Whether it ends in a courtroom victory for Zuma or a long-awaited trial remains to be seen. But either way, the outcome will have profound implications for South Africa's legal and political future. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this breakdown informative, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more deep political analysis, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Zuma will succeed in getting the case struck off, or will justice finally catch up with him? Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and see you next time.